Hey, Kevin Coy here, Kevin's Micro Homestead, and I just wanted to give you a little update video. The last time I got on and had anything was about right at 2 months ago today, and we were moving out of the home that we sold that we'd lived in for 20 years, and we actually, just so I wanted to kind of tell you where we're at now over the summer here. We moved about 500 miles from where we used to live to the other side of the state from where we were here in Washington. And we're currently searching for a piece of property, a piece of a little acreage or a lot or something that we want that will suit us to do our next project. Is to build another home that's more in alignment with the values that we have now and our sort of what chapter we're in our lives, I guess. And it's been a number of years that I've been into the tiny house, small house, micro house movement, and started that series in I think 2010. So that has really been kind of a lifestyle change for us, and we've been gravitating towards the smaller house scenario that we're looking to get into now. And so we sold a 3,000 square foot house and moved from a different climate in a different area that we're at now. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, sort of throw some ideas out for you guys and some things to ponder, some questions to ask yourselves if you're interested in doing something like this. And then know that we have this project coming up, and we're going to start talking about, where do you start when you decide you want to build a small home and maybe have a site-built home rather than potentially one on wheels, or have a piece of property that you can say is home on a longer term basis. And so we're going to be developing Kevin and Anissa's micro homestead. Anissa's behind the camera right now, and she may chime in here in this conversation. So points to ponder. We were in a 4-season climate where we lived before. We had all 4 seasons. And frankly, we were a little tired of one of those 4 seasons, winter, and about 30 years of being in the snow, and we decided we wanted to change. So the area that we're in now here on the coast is more of a, I'd almost even say kind of a 2-season, maybe 3-season climate. They don't get real warm summers here, and they certainly don't get cold winters here. In fact, I think they had some snow about 2 years ago, and prior to that it had been about 8 years since they'd seen any snow. And that, when I say snow, I mean it snowed, but it didn't stick around. And so that's my kind of season. I like that kind of snow. So certainly a different climate here, and a whole different lifestyle. And one of the things that we were really interested in having is access to the ocean. We want to live by the beach, and so this area that we're looking at here is very close to the water. In fact, you can hear the surf in the background when we're standing here on this particular piece of property that we're looking at. So a little bit about what we were thinking about, what you might consider if you're doing this is, what is it you're looking for in a piece of property? A lot, a little, a couple acres, a partial, small acreage, whatever it is you're interested in. What are the things you might be wanting to consider? And so climate is certainly one of them, and access to the infrastructure of a town or a community or even a big city. Kind of depends on what you're interested in population wise, and what are the nearby shopping abilities and medical and those kind of things. Those are things you want to think about. And we actually like small communities. The area that we were in was the county was about 40,000. The area that we're in now is about half that population, and it's more of it's certainly a maritime environment. We have the ocean right out here behind us, and so we're looking at properties and something that's going to fit our criteria that we're wanting at this time in our lives, and the ability to build and create a little homestead here for ourselves. So things to think about are, how close are you to the water, power, and sewer on a particular piece of property, and how much is that going to you know, what it may be is already existing on that property. They may have some of that already installed, and that will certainly alter the price and also the development costs. The weather and how you want to situate your home. This particular piece of property that we're looking at is very close to the ocean. We can walk there in just a few minutes, and there's an actual deeded beach access that comes with this property, so we can actually walk down the lane out onto a path through the dune grass, and we're on the beach in a matter of a few minutes. And so that was important to us. We wanted to have that. So we're looking at this property to see if this will work for what we want to do, for the size of home we want to build, for the cost of developing this lot to suit our needs, and just kind of capturing that thought process for yourself. So think about in terms of, you know, negotiating, even looking for a piece of property, you know, whether you're using a realtor or whether you're out looking for properties that are maybe being sold by the owner privately, and you can negotiate some sort of a cost, you know, purchase price, and how to go about doing that. We're going to kind of get into all that here a lot more in depth in future videos on this project, but we're going to decide whether this is going to work for us, or we're going to keep looking for another piece of property. And so I wanted to let you know about that. We're pretty excited about the potential of this piece of property. It's fitting a lot of the needs and criteria that we want in a piece of property that we're looking for. We've got a lot of room here to do some things, and yet you know, we were on 10 acres before, which was a lot of room, and way more than we needed, and way more than we want at this point in our lives. But this piece of property is about 3/4 of an acre, which is certainly a lot less, but it's still a lot of elbow room here, and it's got a lot of the things that we're interested in. And so we're going to keep looking at this piece until it either works out for us, or we run into something that's a deal breaker and we move on to the next one. So I did want to let you know that you ought to, you know, stay tuned and subscribe. This is going to be unfolding and developing here in the next little bit, and we're going to keep making some videos to kind of help you see how this works, and we're going to have a program coming together where you can actually be a part of the project and really get to know a whole lot more about it than what we've even done in the past video series, as far as building, you know, all the different phases of developing a home, from, you know, coming in with the tractor and you know, scratching off the property to get it ready for build, and putting in the water, power, and sewer, the actual building process, all the different phases of that. We're going to get into a lot of details. It's going to be a great project for people that really want to learn what it takes to build a house, and you know, you can scale this up and down to whatever size home, you know, you're interested in. The one that we're currently thinking about building is 24 by 36, so it's not a great big home, but it's not a little bitty home. It's well, it depends on who you're talking to, I guess. That's less than 900 square feet, so that's considerably smaller, less than a third of what we had prior in our home that we just sold. So just wanted to give you an update. We're going to bring up some more videos here as we go, and we're going to be looking into this. We were just walking around on this property today, and we ran across, there's a fair amount of wildlife here in the area. We're seeing some deer. We had a couple of big 3-point bucks standing in here the other night. We see bald eagles very regularly around here, and we just found some signs of a bear that's been in here lately, rummaging around, and he was tearing into some old logs on the property over here looking for something to eat, and he left a little bit of stuff behind, just so we knew who he was. A lot of berries and seeds. So anyway, just thought I'd give you an update. We're having a great time. The weather's beautiful here. You can see lots of blue sky. We got a very wooded piece of property that we're looking at. A lot of trees. I think, you know, there's probably 60 or 70 trees on this particular piece of property, and then the adjacent property behind us has got quite a few. And it's just a real pretty setting in here. Very idyllic, and the sun's kind of streaming through the trees right now, and really a very pretty little wooded glade out here that we're standing in, and we're very enamored with this piece of property. So I'm hoping that everything will work out for this, and that we'll start doing something with it here. So stay tuned, subscribe, keep an eye on things, don't miss out. We got a lot coming up, and I think you're really going to enjoy our new project. So we'll see you on the next video.